need. If you happen to have a lot of money, which I don't, well then it's all the money that you need to, you know, get what you want. Right? Right. Anyway, over here we do so many different things. Many times it's not because the farmers do not harvest enough. It is in the preservation of what they harvest. What is the problem? If they're harvesting grain of different kinds, be that corn, soybean, wheat, barley, or other kinds of grain, many times their bins are not properly constructed, so those grains become moldy, and in no time they're all destroyed. And then add to that the invasion of the rats, and then they will shed hair, they will poop and pee, and they multiply so fast inside the bin, and in no time at all, what, almost 90% or 80% of the grain inside the bin is no good. But in some places they still have to process that because they have nothing else to live. You can imagine. All right, so we teach people how to build solar dehydrator. These are all solar dehydrators. We teach them how to prepare ways where they can purify polluted water or build a slow cooker. See, with the sunshine and a lot of solar heat, they can have a crock pot. They can chop up all the food they want for dinner, put it there, and then by the time they come home from work, why the dinner is all ready. See, it's not been a very hot day, but see how hot that thing is. Don't burn your hands. It's so cold. It is hot. Why we make a cake there sometimes. If you ever bake a cake, you know how much heat you need to make a cake. At least 350 degrees, right? So it's pretty hot. Okay, so we teach people how to purify polluted water, not so much with the chemicals, but from unsanitary practices. We have many different ways of where we can teach people to purify the water. Right? And we can teach people how to build so many different kinds of stoves, where if they're using firewood, they can build a stove that is a combination of oven and a regular, flame cooking thing there. Just build the fire with all that are in there. It's pretty heavy. Shove what you want to bake in there, and at the same time you're cooking a stew up here. See, so this saves a lot of fuel. And if all they have are charcoal, you can teach them how to build very efficient cooking stoves, for example. Line it up with ceramics for the heat. And if they're cooking with bundle of sticks, then we can teach them how to make the rocket type of stove, so that even if they're just a bundle of sticks, if they are going to cook in an open fire like this, the big bundle of sticks is not going to last 2 days. It will burn so quickly because in the open fire of cooking, you're using only 10% or less of the heat energy generated. The rest is just all going to waste. Right? So, we have many, many different ways of thinking. Now, come on in a little bit so I don't have to holler. The crown of your visit today is this thing we're gonna show you. When you grow aquatic animals, you wanna grow fish to sell, to eat, you wanna grow fresh shrimp, snails, crayfish, all kinds of different things. You call that aquaculture. When you're growing plants, no soil, but you are circulating water, fresh water, that is loaded with all the nutrition and the different elements that the plants need. You call that hydroponic. Now, we integrate the two, aquaculture and hydroponic. And what makes it work is a series of bacteria that will do the chemistry of converting the ammonia produced in the fish tanks to become fertilizer for the plant. The plant will take what they need. The fresh water is returned back to the tanks where they are re-oxygenated and so forth, so the fish won't die. So, in due time, you will not need to buy fertilizer because the fish will be generating the fertilizer. And you are going to use only 2% of the fresh water that you would ordinarily use in the traditional gardening, because you are recirculating the water and your loss is just what evaporates and what the plants take and what the plants will lose through their transpiration. Okay? So, that is what this is all about. This is the aquaponic method designed after what the University of the Virgin Islands did. The know-how of aquaponics in this country is not new. It's already been known for almost 30 years. But because of our interest in food safety and the need for smaller growing space, there's a resurgence of the interest of aquaponics. Okay. In due time, hopefully by this time next year, all of that section is going to be converted more into different types of aquaponics so that we can be able to demonstrate to the public the many different ways that you can do it. All right, so as you come through here, when you go over there, why all of these are loaded with tilapia. Tilapia are the best fish to farm because they can tolerate a wide variation of the temperature, the pH, and they have very few diseases. Okay, when you feed the fish, what is floating there, by the way, is duckweed. The fish will eat some of that duckweed. And when we feed the fish with pellets that have also a little protein, okay, all of that food is not eaten. Some of it will settle down. And because the fish will also have their excreta, and because they have gills, they will so ammonia is going to continually build up here. And if you do not lower the ammonia level, a fish will die. On the other hand, you cannot use water high in ammonia for the plant food because that will also kill the plant. The whole system makes this work because of the bacteria that are located in these two bags. Okay? The water from this tank is drained near the bottom, not on top. Okay? So the water from this tank goes to this reservoir. There's a filtering and settling going on here, and the ammonia is converted to nitrite. Water then goes to the next tank, and the nitrite is converted to nitrate. Nitrate is fertilizer for the fish. It will then go underway by gravity, and the water will be recirculated. And this is all floating raft. There is no soil.
Oh, that's cool.
These are just styrofoam that you can find home people load.
What plant is this?
Yeah. It looks like basil.
Oh, basil. Oh, okay.
Huh?
You said?
Basil or beans? Beans.
Oh, okay.
Basil. See, those are all just what being used. And when they, and when they plant those seedlings, so that the seedling doesn't fall, you have a little basket with gravel or some kind of with a net. So the plants, as the water is flowing around this way, The plants will take the nutrition they need. They oxygenate the water also to a certain extent. And then when the water is being pumped back into the tanks, it is cascading so that it will also oxygenate the water, and the fish is not going to die. Okay? And I say the best fish to farm, if you're growing just fish to eat or sell, is the tilapia, because among other things, tilapia do not eat other fish. Whereas if you grow bass or trout or other kinds of fish, they will eat the smaller fish. That's the way the fish world order is. Big fish eat little fish. That's all. Yeah, where you go, tilapia, by the way, they are known to be mouth caregivers. Okay, give you a little background. If that were in the pond, or the female tilapia, when it's ready to lay eggs, will find a little, like a nest-like thing, lay the egg, then the male will come and squirt over that, and then fertilize the egg. Then all the fertilized egg is gathered in the mouth of the female tilapia, and that's where they will stay until they hatch. Okay? And once they hatch, you have little tiny things that look like little black. And when there is, safety, they all go out and explore what's it. And if there's a risk, then there's some kind of a signal, and all of those little fish will return into the mother's mouth until, danger is over. So, what that means, you have to learn how to distinguish a male and female tilapia so that you're not going to destroy the mouth caregivers, especially if they still have all that. And so, obviously, all the female tilapia during this period are not eating, and so it will be the male that you're going to sacrifice.